This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today we're going to speak about restitution and why a criminal defendant must pay full restitution to the victims of the crime, and that the defendant is not entitled to offset his obligation of restitution because the victim has insurance. Because an insurer that pays an insured for damages caused by a criminal is also a victim of the crime entitled to restitution. The state charged defendant-appellant Kaliah Haskett with criminal damaging after she kicked the rear liftgate of a vehicle. Haskett pleaded guilty, and the trial court ordered her to pay more than $3,000 in restitution for repairs to the vehicle, including replacing the vehicle's bumper. In State of Ohio versus Haskett, the Court of Appeals of Ohio on December 20, 2024, found that Haskett was obligated to pay restitution for her crime. Haskett asserted that the trial court should have limited its restitution award to the value of the complaining witness's insurance deductible. She further argued that the trial court erred by including in the restitution award the cost of replacing the vehicle's bumper and by limiting her cross-examination of the complaining witness on the witness's prior inconsistent statements. Ohio, of course, like most states, requires a trial court to reduce the restitution order by any recovery that a complaining witness has received. However, a trial court is not required to offset a complaining witness's restitution award due to the potential of an insurance claim. In August of 2023, the state charged Haskett with criminal damaging, a second-degree misdemeanor. The complaint alleged that Haskett ripped off the fuel cap of the complaining witness's van, kicked the rear liftgate in a fit of rage, causing significant dents. Haskett pleaded guilty to the offense. P.W., the complaining witness, testified at the restitution hearing that she owned a 2008 Dodge Caravan and that Haskett damaged it by kicking the vehicle. P.W. received a $3,323.96 estimate for the repairs. P.W. testified she had insurance covering her vehicle, but she did not want to make a claim through her insurance because my insurance didn't have anything to do with the damage that Haskett did, and my insurance will go up, and I don't feel like that's fair that I have to use my insurance to pay for the damage she did. P.W. stated that her insurance deductible was $500. Haskett asked P.W. about statements she made to police on the day of the incident, and Haskett's counsel noted that there were 2 dents on the back of P.W.'s vehicle and that on the day of the incident, P.W. told law enforcement that Haskett caused only one of the dents. P.W. stated that Haskett caused both dents. The trial court stated that because P.W. had not received an insurance payment, she was not required to submit an insurance claim and could recover the full value of the estimate. The trial court therefore awarded P.W. $3,323.96 in restitution and sentenced Haskett to 90 days in jail with 90 days suspended and 2 years of community control. Following a misdemeanor conviction, the Court of Appeals concluded, the trial court may order the defendant to pay restitution to the victim in an amount based on the victim's economic loss. Economic loss is defined as any economic detriment suffered by a victim as a direct and proximate result of the commission of an offense. Restitution is limited to the actual loss caused by the defendant's conduct. Haskett asserted that the trial court erred because it awarded restitution beyond the amount of PW's deductible. PW testified that her vehicle was insured, but she chose not to file a claim. In Ohio, courts have concluded that if a victim maintains an insurance policy covering the damages caused by a defendant and has received insurance payments, then the amount of restitution should be set at the amount of the deductible, not the amount of damage. Ohio courts conclude that if the victim has insurance that reimbursed her for part or all of the loss that occurred as a result of the offender's criminal conduct, the victim has not suffered an economic loss for the purposes of imposing restitution. While these cases provide that a victim's restitution award should be offset by the victim if the victim receives compensation from a third party, they do not state that the victim must file an insurance claim. Ohio statutes do not require a trial court to limit restitution awards merely because a victim purchased an insurance policy and may submit a claim. At the time of restitution hearing, PW's economic loss was $3,323.96. Had PW received insurance payments to cover some of that amount, her actual economic loss would be reduced and transferred to her insurance company. Since she recovered nothing from her insurer, and Haskett points to no statutory mechanism for forcing a complaining witness to pursue recovery from collateral sources before seeking restitution. Haskett's guilty plea was not an admission that Haskett caused whatever damages PW claimed at the restitution hearing. A defendant is permitted to dispute the amount of restitution because PW asserted damages beyond those listed in the complaint. The trial court should have permitted Haskett to cross-examine PW about her prior inconsistent statements. That error, however, was harmless. PW testified that the damage to the liftgate, damage Haskett admitted causing, necessitated replacing the bumper. Therefore, the trial court properly awarded PW the cost to replace both parts of the vehicle. In my opinion, although only $3,323.96 was involved between the defendant and the victim, this case is important to the insurance industry. If the victim had made a claim to her insurer and had been paid, she would get a windfall if she received full restitution and the insurance proceeds. The defendant's obligation to pay restitution would not be eliminated, however, since by its right of subrogation, the insurer would step in the shoes of its insured as a victim of the crime and be entitled to restitution in accordance with state law. If the insurer's rights were ignored, the criminal defendant would profit from the crime. In such a fact situation, every insurer that has paid indemnity to its insured because of the acts of a convicted defendant, the insurer must, as a victim of the crime, demand restitution. This video was adapted from my blog, Zelma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zelma.com/blog. If you subscribe, you'll receive notice of every blog posting, usually 5, sometimes 6 a week, and you will gain access to the more than 4,950 blog postings. You can also subscribe to these videos on YouTube and rumble.com, and if you do, I'd appreciate it if you click on the like button on YouTube and the thumbs up button on rumble.com. Please tell your friends and colleagues about this blog so that they too can subscribe. And if you're interested in further detail about insurance, insurance law, insurance claims, and insurance fraud, please consider for a very small fee subscribing to my Substack publication. Thank you for your attention.